How are you doing?
Doing fine, thanks. How's it going?
It's going well. Cold, cold, cold.
I believe it.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolute pleasure. It's good to talk with you.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
heading up there pretty soon. We're heading up there pretty soon.
End of February, I guess, eh?
Yeah, that's like tomorrow, the way time travels.
No kidding, right? It's kind of scary.
Insane. It is a little scary, but that's okay. Just got to adapt to it, you know.
Pretty much. That's about all you can do.
So
let's get into this right away. How do you prepare for this, for a big tour like this?
I think the main thing is to rest up. We charge our batteries over the holiday, and that way we're raring to go by the time tour season starts up again. We're totally psyched. So it's fun. This is a good time of year.
When was the last time you guys were out?
We usually finish our tour season in November. And so we've been kind of home, families and holidays, just like everyone else.
And then back on it. And how long is this one going to last?
We basically tour from the end of February until the end of November. It's just all kinds of different routings and packages. We're going to go to Australia. We're going to Iceland. And then in the summer, we're going to do a tour with Jason Bonham and Whitesnake.
Oh, that's right. That's going to be a great one.
Yeah.
Bonham's going to be doing all the Zeppelin stuff, I heard.
Sure. It's Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin show. And it's a good one. We toured with him last summer.
And Whitesnake, too. They're no slouch.
Yeah, Whitesnake puts on a great show. So we'll be there this summer.
I want to kind of get back into your history a little bit, if I can.
Sure.
I read somewhere that you started on the sax. Is that true?
I actually started on the drums.
You started on the drums?
Oh, yeah. A lot of musicians start on the drums.
Why the sax, then? Was that after the drums? Just after the drums?
Oh, yeah. I learned a bunch of instruments. I started on drums, then I learned guitar, had keyboard lessons, got into the flute pretty early on, and that led me to the saxophone, into the woodwind world.
Okay, I got to ask, how does one go from drums to flute?
It is so much easier to move them.
Oh, that's true.
I thought I want to go from the maximum to the minimum, and it was glorious. I could take it apart and put it in your coat pocket.
But how do you go from playing flute to being in a rock band?
I really was a guitarist. I loved rhythm guitar and the Beatles. All my heroes were strumming that guitar, Elvis singing and strumming. When I was growing up, that's what all the singers did. Even Glenn Campbell was a big deal, and Chuck Berry. So I always had a guitar, and I always wanted to be a rock guitar player, like The Who, that kind of rhythm guitar player. And Forigner has that kind of featured rhythm guitar part that I always loved. So it's a thrill for me to play every night.
Yeah, you're playing some pretty iconic riffs, too.
Exactly, yeah. You can sink your teeth into those, like Jukebox Hero, Hot Blooded. Those are great guitar songs. Absolutely. Most of the Foreigner songs are.
Do you get a chance to play flute with Foreigner?
Yes, I do. There's an intro to Star Rider, and we do an acoustic version of Say You Will, where I get to kind of improvise in the intro. And it's a lot of fun. I get to stretch out a little bit on the flute.
So with Foreigner, you're playing 3 or 4 different instruments?
At least. I know, it's just on my toes. It's flute, sax, guitar, piano, acoustic. Sometimes we do acoustic shows. I could play the acoustic bass. A lot of singing, too.
A lot of singing, I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
It amazes me that when people can play that many instruments, why haven't we heard a solo album with you doing everything?
Oh, that is such a good question. I think I'm so happy working with Foreigner. We get a break. I don't want to jump in the studio and slave away on a solo project. I want to rest up for the next Foreigner project.
Is there a project?
There's always another Forigner project. Yeah. We just did one with a symphony orchestra in Lucerne, Switzerland. That'll be coming out this year. And we did a reunion concert with the original members of Forigner. So these projects always mean that we're going to be featuring maybe some songs that we don't ordinarily play. And I like to practice all the instruments too, like sharpen up those skill sets and get the saxophone tip-top shape.
Is there any new music coming out?
Not sure. Mick Jones is the writer, and he's always working on something. We know that. There was some talk about getting some old studio recordings out that he had done with Lou Gramm. I remember those recordings. And they had spoken about possibly finishing them, but not sure. We just have to wait and see. It's really, Mick, he always has the music. It's just a matter of waiting to see how it finds its way out. There's a couple of new songs on our recent albums, yeah.
Right. What amazed me when I was doing some research for this interview was Forigner's only made 9 albums, but they have, hits.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's incredible.
That first album was what, 1979, and something like that. And
I think it's 77. Yeah, 77, the actual release.
And they've only made 9 albums, but
yeah,
like it just seems like more, I guess, because of the number of hits. How do you
probably
your set list?
We just write down the song that everyone wants to hear, and that's it. We're done. The set list writes itself.
Yeah, but I guess what I mean is, how much does the set change from tour to tour if you're not releasing new music?
We have some songs that we'll rotate into the rotation. It sounds like redundantly redundant. And but we really will. And sometimes we'll let the audience choose. Kelly will announce 4 candidates, and whoever gets the most applause will be the song that we play. Okay. So that keeps it kind of fun. Keeps us on our toes.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs there to pick from.
So as a guitar player, you toured with Aerosmith, which is pretty impressive. If you're talking guitar players, those are 2 of the best going. What did you pick up from those guys?
I learned so much from Forigner and Aerosmith just by watching. And they lead by example. You learn from great band leaders what it takes to take a band to that level. Think of all the people that start bands and how far are they able to take it. And both these guys took it all the way to the top. So that would be Aerosmith, Steven, and Joe, and Forigner, Mick and Lou.
Right.
I could write a book of all the things that I learned. But overall, I think that as band leaders, they look to get the most out of the band. They don't try to shut anybody down. And I was in some ways surprised by that. I didn't expect as much encouragement as I got from both organizations.
Do they let you do what you want to do? Within the limits?
Oh, man, that's the thing. They tell you to take it one step further.
Oh, really? So there's a lot of...
It was wild. Yeah, a lot of improvising. I got to stretch out, do an extended solo, lose my mind, and then Mick and Lou would say, take it one step further.
Wow.
So, it was really, really cool. Yeah, it's an open landscape.
So you toured with Aerosmith on what, Pump?
Pump and Get a Grip.
Wow, so I've seen you twice.
Well, yeah, which part?
Well, I saw Pump and Get a Grip tour.
Do you remember where?
In Ottawa.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. I remember seeing that on the schedule.
Wow, yeah, that was...
I was singing a lot of the high harmony, Steven, playing sax on Mama Kim, and same old song and dance, Walking the Dog.
He would be a tough guy to harmonize with because he kind of scats a lot and changes a lot of stuff during shows.
That's pretty insightful insight. I'm doing a lot of redundancy today. But honestly, that's very insightful because part of the job was knowing when he would switch rails, you had to be prepared to switch with him.
So it's a really cool gig.
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun, though. And I could always hear where he was, and just whether it was the high part or the low part. Whatever part he wasn't singing, I could always grab the other one.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
I know. It was rewarding. And he would look at you and give you a big thumbs up. Like you had a home run.
That's awesome. Were you a fan of Aerosmith before you joined?
Yeah. I had played a lot of their songs in bands I was in high school and sang. I was actually used to singing their songs too. So Stephen liked the way our voices blended.
And a fan of Forigner before they got you in the band?
Very much, sure. Yeah, I think everyone was. Foreigner sounded so good on the radio. Remember the first time you heard Feels Like the First Time? Oh. It was just tremendous. Same with Hot Blooded. Slam it. Yeah. I love the groove.
It was always Jukebox Hero for me, the one that got me going with this band.
Yeah.
Such a great tune. Just got so much.
Great story.
Do you have to audition for these, or do they just know who you are and ask you to join?
I auditioned for Aerosmith, but there was no one else there. It wasn't like a room full of guys going into people with clipboards. You know, it wasn't anything like you would imagine an audition would be. I flew up there to Vancouver, and Stephen was on the drums, and I had my saxophone. That was the first audition.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, he was playing the drums, and he would sing "Gat," and I would answer with the sax. And he liked the way I was dancing. So we went to the piano, and we sat down, and he sang "You're My Angel." And he said, "Wow, see how well our voices are blending? We're like the Everly Brothers."
That's great.
I was just like, I can go home now. You know, I'm satisfied. This would be a good day. I could just go home now. But then Joe Perry came in, and he said, "Do you know any Chuck Berry?" I said, "Sure." I was trying to play the piano. He was playing guitar. And they were really out of tune. The piano and the guitar were out of tune. I looked at Steve and I said, "Steve, this piano's totally out of tune with that guitar." And he just goes, "Yeah, but it's kind of cool."
That sounds so Steven Tyler.
You know? Exactly right. And I just kind of went, okay, and kept playing. You know, I guess we're not going to stop. I'm going to keep playing, different tuning, whatever.
Wow. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it's true. Just those two guys. I thought the band was going to be there on a stage with managers. Nothing. Little Mountain Studio, Stephen and Joe. Of course, the producer, that great producer, Bob Fairburn.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the engineers, they were in the control room. We did these auditions off in a little sound booth in that studio.
Did you record?
That's right. No. That's why there was a piano in there that was totally out of tune from the guitar.
Oh, that would have been great if you could have had that on tape.
Yeah, I still have the demo tape that I sent them. They really liked it, and I was so honored. Steve said, "Wow, that tape you sent was amazing." I was like, "Oh man."
Is that how it works? You send a tape out, and if they like it, they call you? Like,
actually, it was the reverse. What happened first was Joe Perry called me, and on the phone he said, "Can you play the piano while we're talking? Because we don't know what's coming in on these tapes. We're looking for a keyboard guy, and people are sending us these crazy tapes of keyboards." He goes, "It could be a computer for all we know."
Right.
So he said, will you play on the phone while we're talking? I said, "Sure." So I started doing my boogie woogie. And he goes, "Wow, yeah, that's the real deal. Okay, send us the tape." and I wanted them to hear everything I could do. So I sang, I played all the instruments, just like we were talking about. I even wrote the song. And Stephen, when I got up to Vancouver, said, "Wow, that tape you sent was amazing." And I was like, "Whoa, thank you." So it was a good experience. It was really uplifting every step of the way. And just those guys are the coolest. Can't say enough great things about both bands. Same thing on both accounts. Only uplifting every step of the way. I feel so lucky and blessed.
You've been in Forigner for what, 20, 22?
Yeah, 25.
25
Yeah,
years?
20, I guess 23. You're right. It would be 23. I did a year from 92 to 93, but then I went back to Aerosmith, 93, 94. So ever since 95, nonstop.
Yeah, it must be a pretty good bunch of guys if you're staying that long.
Yes. It's a very cool hang, as we said.
That's right. You got Jeff Pilson on bass, too.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of his ever since talking.
Yeah. He's been with us for 13, 14 years. Jeff has been on bass. And Kelly Hansen, our singer, 13 years. Amazing how much time goes by.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it could possibly be that long.
No. Yeah, that's a really long time.
Absolutely. So,
what
can you expect from this new tour?
It's going to be high energy, and I think we'll be going to places and seeing friends, and hopefully making new friends and family along the way. And we'll be brushing up for our symphony shows. So it's going to be a good year. We're just psyched. And at this point, we're ready to rock. And the holidays are winding down. Once we wrap up Valentine's Day, we'll be like the bull in the pen, bumping our heels trying to get out. We're ready to hit the road.
So the Ottawa show is going to be one of the first of the tour.
Yeah.
Right near the beginning.
Yeah, you'll see us rested, tanned, and ready.
Yeah, get ready for the cold.
We love it. I love the air. I love the cold.
Yeah,
Bar noises were good.
You say that now. Wait until you get off the plane and it's minus 40.
I know. We've been there.
A couple little questions. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy guy. In fact, I'm shocked that you have time for anything with all the stuff that you do. You teach too, don't you?
I used to. There just hasn't been much time for it anymore.
What did you teach?
When I was teaching music, I would teach saxophone, flute, all the instruments, even theory and harmony, anything anybody wanted to learn. But when I was teaching golf, I was helping people, especially with their putting. We're going to probably start doing some more of that this year. So I do love teaching music, and I love teaching golf. But Forigner is a full-time job.
I can imagine.
And when I'm not doing it, I'm resting up so I can do it right. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, for sure. I didn't know you were a golf teacher too. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, I love that.
The reason I asked that was, what do you what's the most important thing that a new musician needs to know or should learn right away? I imagine it's the same for every instrument, but
yes. And I thought about that. If I had to give someone one thing, I would probably say play along with records.
Really?
Yeah. People listen to music all the time, and they go into a separate room with their instrument, and there's like two separate entities. They should be one. You should play along with records. That's how all great musicians got to be good.
So how do you develop your own style if you're playing along with other musicians?
Their styles go into your collective consciousness, and when you bring it out, it comes out with your own flavoring on it. So in other words, I learned by playing along with Grover Washington on the saxophone.
Right.
And all day long, he goes, ba-do-do-do-do-do. That's like a Grover Washington lick. But when I do it, I go, so you put your own personality on it. And all those things, your influences go into this kind of melding pot. And then when you express yourself, you're using that vocabulary. But you have to have it so you can express yourself. And listening is the key. Sorry, I should have said that also. You can't just throw a record on and start playing with it.
Right.
You got to spend a lot of time listening. And that's those are the two keys, I would say. It helps to have a good teacher for technique so you don't learn any bad habits. But in the end, that's how you get good.
Did you have a teacher right from the beginning? Is that what you're recommending? Or what about all these
Yeah. Well, nowadays, people can learn on YouTube. But you should have a teacher that looks at your technique so you don't do anything wrong for your whole life. You can hurt yourself, especially if it's drums or guitar, wrist position.
Right.
People can really hurt their wrist if they're playing the drums incorrectly. So an instrument like that, I definitely would recommend a teacher. Yeah, I had teachers. I was lucky. My parents would send me to lessons because they loved to get rid of me. But other people should at least take a handful of lessons on any instrument they want. And, go ahead and learn some stuff on YouTube first. You don't have to go in there stone cold. How do I hold it? But I recommend a good teacher. Yeah, I think so. And also self-teaching off of YouTube. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, for sure. Are kids still interested in this? Learning?
I think so. I think so. When it comes to guitar, kids love learning Smoke on the Water. Huh. Nobody knows why.
Some things never change, eh? That was my first time.
Me too. I love it. I just can't get it up. So at least that means kids have good taste consistently.
Exactly.
They also love Hot Blooded, by the way.
Which one?
Along those lines. Hot Blooded. That kind of song. The kids just dig it. So to answer your question, I think so when it comes to rock music.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad that people are still interested and not just doing the guitar here.
Yeah. No, it still resonates, and it's kind of a rare sound now. Bands like us are fewer and farther between.
Yeah.
So it's more of a novelty when a real rock band comes around. They thank us. They're like, wow, we haven't seen this in a long time.
Yeah, you're a lucky man. You get to play some tunes, man.
I know. I feel so blessed.
You're living the dream.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. This is very cool, and I'm looking very forward to the show. Mid-February, you start the tour.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're going right through till November, and then you'll take a break.
Well, we do take breaks along the way.
Right.
Typically, you go out for 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks, and then you come home for a week or 10 days to rest up again, to rinse and repeat.
That's a long time to be away from home.
Yeah, we end up being away at least 3/4 of the year that way.
Wow.
We do feel fortunate to be booked all the way through this year, and I'm pretty sure they're already starting on 2019.
Well, listen, this has been fantastic. I actually learned